study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
the best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
This episode is brought to you by Prime. What if you had one more chance with the one that got away?
Sam, you came home.
Based on the best-selling novel from Carly Fortune. Every Year After follows childhood friends Sam and Percy as they reunite in the dreamy, nostalgic lakeside town of Barry's Bay.
Love can be hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to find that person, never let go.
A second chance at first love. Every Year After, now streaming only on Prime.
Marvel Television's Wonder Man, an 8-episode series, now streaming on Disney+.
A superhero remake, not exactly what we'd expect from an Oscar-winning director.
Action! Simon Williams, audition for Wonder Man.
I'm gonna need you to sign this, assuming you don't have superpowers.
I'll never work again if anyone found out.
My lips are sealed.
Marvel Television's Wonder Man. All 8 episodes now streaming, only on Disney+.
Hey, this is Arianthi, and I'm chatting with Jay Scott on The Hook Rocks.
Doing? It's Jay Scott. It's The Hook Rocks, the ultimate rock community podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. I am back. You may have not known, but I had some episodes stacked over the last few weeks that I've been releasing. But I just had a great week in Nashville in Florida. Went down to Nashville last week and saw True Villains on Halloween night, and then I saw Butch Walker at the Brooklyn Bowl, which was a fantastic show. Huge fan of Butch Walker, as you guys know. I always talk about him. And then did a lot of other things in Nashville. Got to see Paul Moak's studio, the Smokestack. Hung out with Tyler Baker from Goodbye June. Did a few other things too as well. And then went to Florida and saw the Metallica show at the Hard Rock Casino, like their tribute to the Zazulas of Megaforce Records. And they did everything off Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. It was an old school show, and there was about 7,000 people there, and it was absolutely fantastic. So my ears are recovering. Prior to going to see Butch in Nashville, I saw Judas Priest, and that was like insanely loud. And it's for someone who's 47, who's been to rock shows over the last 2 decades. It took a while for my ears to recuperate over the last couple of weeks, but I am back, and we are part of the Pantheon Podcast Network, as I always mention, great network of music-related podcasts. We've got some friends over there, too, as well, Tom and Zeus on the #1 rated KISS podcast, Shout Out Loudcast, Mac from the Ugly American Werewolf in London podcast, Martin Popoff, the rock historian, the legendary DJ Mistress Carrie, and Carmen Apiece and Vinny Appice on the Hangin' and Bangin' podcast, as well as some friends outside of Pantheon, the Itch Rockin' Radio Show. They do a great show. And Jason and Brian and all things blues and southern rock. So check those out, as well as the gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, on the Pot of Thunder podcast. So check out all my friends. They're doing a great job. We all love talking music. And don't forget to check out The Hook Rocks wherever you do podcasts, whether it's Amazon, Apple, or Spotify. You can find us on all platforms, and you can search us up, The Hook Rocks, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Set your app to automatic download so you get the latest episodes right to your phone. And we have a great episode, but just want to mention some previous ones that we've done. We just had the band GA20, the great blues band, on the New Music Spotlight. They had the #1 blues album on Billboard chart, that interviews with guitarist Matt Stubbs. We had Devin Allman on recently talking about the Allman Family Revival Tour that's going to be hitting the States here in the next couple of weeks. And of course, we did our episode of why algorithms and TikTok are ruining rock music and how algorithms throttle discovery of new artists and new bands. So check that out. Great New Music Spotlight with Timmy Ruff from the New Roses. Another great interview with Jax Hollow, great singer-songwriter. And Anthony Gomes talks his new album as well. And we recently also had Ches Kane, who released her new album on Frontier Records. Got a great episode. I always say we got a great episode because I love the episodes and the conversations we have. So this band that we have on, and the two guests that I'm going to introduce here shortly, I was chatting with Nick Reese from Joyous Wolf on Instagram one night, and I asked him, I said, hey, give me a band that I need to check out. He's like, Moon City Masters. I'm like, all right, I'll check them out. So I'm listening. I'm like, dude, these guys are great. So as you guys know, I talk about them a lot. My son's 17. He's a senior in high school, loves music, loves a lot of the new bands. So I pick him up from school the next day, and I got Moon City Masters playing. I go, dude, you got to check out this band. Nick told me about this band. They're awesome. He's like, Dad, I told you about this band like a year and a half ago. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you did. He's like, yeah, it shows how much you pay attention. I'm like, yeah, a good son there. He totally told me about this. So Nick did, kind of introduce me, but I got to give credit to my son. You can follow him at the Youth Rocks on Twitter, but he was the one that initially introduced me to this great band, and I'd like to welcome in Taylor and Jordan from Moon City Masters. What's going on, guys? How are you?
What? Hey, thank you. Oh, dude. I love that. You got a good kid. And obviously I got to thank Nick. A lot of people, if they ask me or not, I tell them that Nick is definitely in the top 5 of best frontmen out there in rock today. Because let's start with the basics. That voice, hell yeah. And then dudes dancing with like James Brown on stage, but with backflips. Oh, it's amazing.
He just brings it in. But that's awesome. Yeah, we did some shows with them last year, and we just did a show with them at the Viper Room. Joyous Wolf, great dudes, great band. Got only good things to say about those guys, and they've just been super supportive, and that's awesome. Very, very cool. That's so awesome that your son. I'm glad that the young people are into the Moon City Masters.
No, first of all, I agree with you. Joyce Wolf is great. The whole band, all the guys are great. Nick is awesome. Great supporter of the show. Great front man. Like you said, man, he's got the James Brown, he's got the voice, he's got the look.
Oh yeah,
he's got the chip on his shoulder that all front men need. And like that swagger, that chip on. Yeah, on his shoulder.
He's got just the perfect amount of it.
Yes,
that you can actually spend time with him that exceeds 5 minutes. Just kidding. No, he's great. He's great. Nick's a great dude.
He's just a great dude, fun to hang out with. He's also been super supportive, because they've been at it longer than we have, and he's always if I ever need advice on something, he's always good. He always gives me really good advice, and just generous people, really awesome.
And that drummer sent us we put out our album, our full length recently, and their drummer Rob. Every time I share a video on Instagram, he's always got the sweetest, nicest things to say. So
it's a big loving rock and roll community.
It is for the most part, I will say, because I interview a lot of bands for the New Music Spotlight, and there is a sense of community. I think a lot more than there ever was back in the 70s, in the 80s. And maybe you can kind of compare it to that 90s grunge scene when all those bands came out of Seattle. There was a sense of community with a lot of those bands. But I really do enjoy and appreciate the support bands give each other. Obviously, there's always going to be circumstances or individuals that won't, but for the most part, I think it's great, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think the competition, I think competition is a healthy thing, but not like personal competition. I think it's more like when you see a band kick ass before you're about to go on, it inspires you to kick some ass, and especially or if you hear someone do amazing music, it pushes you to be creative. But what's that saying? A rising tide lifts all boats. It's just the truth, It's like when people like look at Greta Van Fleet, I don't, I like them, and I think there's a lot of people, like them or not, you should be, if you play that type of music, you should be happy that a band like that.
Any kind of music, or if you don't think of yourself as that kind of music, any kind of music that their fan base would be into, you should be rooting for them because it's good for you too.
Yeah.
That's been our
100%.
attitude. That's been our attitude, with them from the beginning. So I've seen a lot of people get kind of bitter about them, and they should probably check that.
Don't hate on the Trailblazers. Don't hate.
Well, why are people hating on them? I mean, that comparison. Look, I am the biggest Led Zeppelin fan of all time. I have a Zeppelin bootleg collection that could probably buy me a house at this point. All right, I've got rarities and everything, and they're my favorite band. But I also know Zeppelin's history. Zeppelin ripped off a lot of people. Okay, and they made the music their own. They made the music their own. Like "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You," "Whole Lot of Love." They've been to court. It's well documented, right? So when a Zeppelin fan says they're stealing from Zeppelin, they're stealing all this, listen, there's obviously influences there, but they're a great band. I've seen Greta 3 times in concert. Blew me away every single time. And the fact that they're bringing young people back to rock and roll is a great thing and should not be discounted, should not be overlooked.
Yep.
They are the band that's doing it. So... Yep.
That's how I looked at it right away. And people first of all, I'm not going to say I know all their music. The songs I've heard, I like that song "My Way Soon" quite a lot. I think they're a great band, and I really, I'm not a hardcore fan. I'm a casual. I like some songs when I hear it, but my whole thing is good. They're bringing young people. It's all young people at their shows. They're not just touring with the Legacy acts. They're bringing other up-and-coming acts on tour to open up with them. It's just a great thing for that music, Look, these guys in their 50s, 60s, 70s, they're not going to be here forever. So, we need some new headliners.
Dude, you can say 80s now, man. You could even say...
not...
You're getting there close,
These bands that we all love that are still going and kicking ass, but they're not going to be here in 20 years. So we we need some new headliners. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And community in general, the only amount of he said it, the only competition I like in music is they kicked ass. We better be that good. We better be that good. Or if I hear a vocalist like Nick or something, it pushes me to want to up my game, but I think you're better off thinking communally. I think that you're better off being friends with everybody. Well, you'll have a lot more fun.
If you think competitively, it's all a competition, you're not going to let yourself get inspired by what's around you,
I was really digging Greg's bass sound at our gig the other day from Joyous. I was like, oh shit. That's think communally, be friends with people, you can get, that it's more fun for me,
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And I think too, the younger generation wants that. They don't want feuds. They don't want whatever you call it. I think different from my generation and the one that came right after. I think the people my son's age want more of a community. I think because they are about a community. If you look at how just the way younger people interact with each other, I think that's important. But rock and roll has struggled, and bands like Greta and bands like Dirty Honey. I think you can also
other great band.
Yeah, I think you can also include the band The Warning in that conversation now.
They're really good. The sisters, right?
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And, whoever helps bring young people into rock music, you should support, and you should, because rock and roll is the greatest genre of music that there is.
Totally. I'm biased. I agree. Totally not biased.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes. So before we really get into it, we always ask the same first question every time we have a first-time guest, and we've got two today, obviously. And that is really what our show is all about, what the podcast is all about. Just like every great rock song has a hook that pulls you in, every rock fan has a moment, whether it's a song, a band, an album, or performance, that hooked them on rock and roll. What was it for you guys?
Can I go first, or you want to go first, Jordan?
You go first.
Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix.
Wow. Okay. What was it about?
Yeah, we were hardcore wrestling fans when we were kids. And Hulk Hogan when we were kids was a bad guy. He was a bad guy.
So he was the NWO at that time.
He was NWO, and he'd come out to Voodoo Child. I'm like, I'm rocking out to that. And our older brother Adam goes, "That's Jimi Hendrix." We're like, what? I knew a little bit. Our dad was a kid in the 60s. He went to Woodstock. And our brother Adam, he makes us a mix CD with Jimi Hendrix and Guns N' Roses. I hear Voodoo Child. It's in my little, with the Discman. I have the CD, and my ears exploded. It was just like, and he did the echo, and it was just like, holy crap.
I remember having that. We had the same moment, same mix CD. And I remember walking around our house with it, feeling like, obviously I wouldn't think this at the time, but I felt I was tripping balls, man. I was like, whoa. I thought it sounded like it came out of the sky. And, and from that moment on, every band that I got into was just blasting it, falling asleep to it every night, man. It elevated. We already loved rock music. I grew up on the Beatles and the Stones. We grew up on that, and I know for the first CD I ever had, that my parents ever gave me money to buy for myself was Abbey Road, so love that. But Jimmy got us got me hooked on hard rock, heavier stuff,
Yeah, that riff, wow, and then it explodes into, that was the first time I was I always liked, that's when I first just got, that's when I really got obsessed.
That's when the gears started turning, and it was just maybe I started fantasizing about being in a band and all that stuff,
Yeah, that was it for me.
Was there a performance that kind of propelled that and kind of said, "Hey, I want to get up on stage and be in a band"? I mean, because
we saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers when we were 11.
What's that?
Saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers when we were 11. By the way, to our first concert ever. And just seeing John Frusciante, he did a little segment where he played Alone for a minute. He did a song called Maybe by the Chantels. He sang and played. I'm like, that's it. I need a guitar. Asked my parents for a guitar the next day.
For me, it was, at that show, it was just Flea. I don't know if you could say, because Flea is so captivating. And he was in the John Entwistle skeleton suit too. It was dope, man. That whole show.
I've taken my son to a lot of concerts, and he's 17. He's going to be 18 in a couple months. And I remember the first show I took him to, which was Butch Walker. We drove down to Kentucky because it was an all-ages show, and he was 5 at the time. And he loved it so much. He was so captivated by it. When we drove back home, we got home. I had bought him earlier that year one of these toy guitars that had buttons where it made with sound and tones. And it had the strings, and he went into his room and he grabbed it out of the closet, because up until then it was just collecting dust, because he didn't really connect with them. And he's on his bed and he's trying to play the guitar because what he saw, in the concert. And I go, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "I need to know how to play this. I want to learn how to play this." So fast forward to now. I mean, it's so cool that I'm able to share moments with him of bands that I've been seeing from, a large part of my life. I took him to see Judas Priest. I took him to see Iron Maiden. I took him to see Butch Walker at the House of Blues earlier. And that was the first time he was able to see Butch again, because every time he's come in since then, it's been over 18 or over 21. But he's also been able to kind of bring me into new bands too, as well. he'll turn me on to a band and say, hey, check this out. Hey, listen, like the Moon City Masters. And so I love that kind of connection we have with music, because I'm feeding him stuff from when I was growing up and he's feeding me stuff. And that kind of really keeps me in front of what's happening in rock, because I've got kind of like a live-in resource of, hey, this band's really good. Check this band out. So that's a lot of fun to have. And just seeing his reaction as a kid when he sees a show and, gets all excited and stuff like that. It's great. And I wish more parents would do that. Get the kids off of social media, get their heads, unburied out of their phones, and have them go see a rock and roll show. It'll change their life.
Oh man, I'm a victim of it too. I'm a phoneaholic, but I'll tell you this: I do think, and I love social media. Social media is why we're doing this interview right now, right. And I'm grateful for it. But I also do see that the fact that, we were that last generation that had a couple years of the physical CD thing. We were we were the transition, and I do see that kids just, when I want them to listen to something, we're both music instructors for a living and professional musicians. So when I'm teaching and I want them to listen, they just think it's time for a break. It's kind of a background noise thing now because the streaming. A lot of kids. Then you got to get the bug, but I do think it does cheapen. It does, for a lot of people, it's music is just a background noise now while they're multitasking. Well, I think
they're not actively listening.
A lot of the older generation, it's like sitting and just listening and taking it in. That's an activity, and I think that's becoming a lost thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, a physical relationship with anything, when you can hold it, when you can see it, is much more valuable than something where you can just hit click, download and play, right?
Yeah.
Like an album, when I bought an album on a Friday, I think it was Tuesdays when I was younger, when I was working at the grocery store, you wouldn't get paid till Friday. So we would all pile in someone's car and we'd go to the record store. But that record would babysit us. We would go in our room, we would unwrap the plastic off of the CD, cassette, or vinyl, and we would sit with that one album, not like because we only had enough money at the time to buy one, because CDs were so expensive back then, and cassettes. So we would just sit and listen over and over and over again. We read the liner notes, we look at the photos, we look at all that stuff. And yeah, you're right. When you have that physical piece and you sit and listen, it is an activity. What are you going to do? I'm going to go listen to my new record that I got. I'm not going to go all right, I'm going to just drive around and just listen to it. I'm going to sit with it and listen.
Yeah.
Right? That's what is missing today. Because I also think, and we've covered this in other episodes, music has kind of lost its value. We mentioned how it's background music now. And if you walk into a Target, you walk into a big box store, they've got music. They got music at Starbucks. And it's always there. It's always in the background. Mm. But I also think, too, that because you have record companies signing influencers, not musicians, to record deals, influencers on TikTok or Instagram that really don't have any musical talent, or they know how to play a song on the guitar. They've never written anything themselves. They just play it, which is great. Don't get me wrong. But we all know what's going to happen to those people with those record deals. They're going to get 30 songwriters in a room. They're going to auto-tune the crap out of it. And then these people are never going to play live. But the fact that they got 50,000 followers or 500,000 followers or whatever it is, they're going to maintain their interest. So it cheapens the value and the worth of the hard work a musician goes through. That,
Look, I won't name names, but I'll tell you this, and luckily we have a decent amount of TikTok followers. But when an industry person does talk to us, they go, "What's your TikTok following?" And they definitely ask that. And I'm sympathetic. Look, I do know people that that are very talented, that they did get discovered on TikTok, and they don't have a lot of experience. It's tough, I think record companies, back in the day, when it was all selling CDs and all that, a lot of bands that we all love didn't really figure it out till the third album. Second album. They didn't become. Now people don't want to.
You have to have your own following.
Yeah.
Online.
They don't want to take chances. They want to know that you're going to make the money.
that you've got to do a lot of work and build it up yourself. And that's why, look, I know that's why if you dig beneath the surface a lot, you will find that someone in someone's family had money when you dig deep.
It's just like, but I was getting to a point, like record companies, they don't want to take chances anymore because they want to know that you're going to be successful and have a following. They want to make sure that you get, and I think it's making the top 40s. Everyone always shits on top 40s music every decade, but you do see that it has gotten a lot more bland and simplified to top.
Oh, yeah, people used to shit on disco, and it's like, oh, it's because you guys were spoiled back then. You guys think that disco was pretty damn good. I actually personally like disco, but like disco.
I am a closet Bee Gees fan. Just so
I'm a giant.
We're out of a closet. We love all that
Bee Gees. People talk about disco as if it's like this mindless music. We played in wedding bands, man. I literally have gone through a pop music time machine. Motown was not some basic shit. That was some real complicated music. It was about like simple stuff like love songs and all that stuff, but it was some real creme de la creme musicians, really like something that you wouldn't expect. I do feel like there is some amazing pop music even being made today, but I do feel like it's largely become so much simpler and people act like, oh, well, people's attention spans aren't. That's not like a natural thing. Roundabout was a hit, man. A prog rock anthem, like had shred. That was a freaking hit.
At one time, "Stairway to Heaven" was the most requested song on rock radio.
Yeah, exactly. I think
the reason why I paired it, it's like they put a lot. The reason why I mentioned the money thing, I have no problem with the fact that some people that I know some that come from money become huge, and that there's no problem with that. Doesn't mean you don't have a shit ton of talent. But they put a lot of expectation on the artist now. More there, obviously there's more to being a musician. There's always been more than like just making sure you can really play, really making sure you can write songs. But there's a lot of expectation to like, you have to be good at social media. You have to be really good with having a style. You need to
you got to have it all figured. It's like, they want to see, and I'm sympathetic because I understand the music industry isn't as profitable as it was then, as it was 20, 30 years ago. But it's also like, man, it's creating it's making our music less interesting than it was even 20 years ago. Our popular music. I think there's more good music than ever before. I just don't think a lot of it is getting the chance to get. And not just rock music. I think there's plenty of great music out. I just think it's so hard because everyone can make an album now that it's really hard to find it.
Yeah, I think you're right. A couple points. First of all, on disco. Listen to the bass lines in the rhythm section.
Oh, I listen to those bass lines.
I mean, seriously, like there's not a bad bass player in a disco band.
There's not a bad anything in a disco band.
I'm just saying, like bass wise. Like they holding down the rhythm section in the disco band. Oh my God! Right?
Yeah. So dude, a big part of our sound is that I just listen. I'm a bass player, and if you're a bass player and you don't love funk and disco, okay, that's fine, but like kind of weird, And I'd be, so when I would be getting into all that stuff, as Taylor was getting into all the guitar heroes, and so we'd be showing each other that stuff. And brought it into the band, and brought it into our sound,
Yeah, that's actually, I think, the secret sauce to the Moon City Masters is that we're not a progressive rock band and we're not a funk band, but we're super inspired by both of that stuff. And I think we bring it into like our poppier sensibilities in rock music.
Well, I agree. Listening to your music, to me, it's very reminiscent to How would I describe? Because I just posted about the new Tuck Smith album, right? And everybody always wants a comparable whenever you're telling them about new music. So it's basically like Thin Lizzy meets Cheap Trick, right?
Ooh, that's a great.
I listen to Tuck Smith. I love Thin Lizzy, and
I've seen his name thrown around, and I think our listeners like him too, according to Spotify. But I've never really given him a listen. That's cool though.
Yeah. So if I were to do a comparable, I find in one aspect that late 70s, early 80s singer-songwriter like Jackson Browne, you have Don Henley, got a lot of influence there. You got great harmonies. You remind me a lot of like, I was just listening to New Kid in Town by the Eagles.
Oh, I love that song.
Which that last break of harmony in that song, which is at like the 3:30 mark, is one of the best harmonies of all time in rock history. So I hear a lot of that in terms of the harmonies with you guys too, as well. A lot of Eagles harmony, a lot of Jackson Browne, a lot of Don Henley. And then you've got like a little bit of an edgier influence too. Like you hear that Stones, you hear that stuff, you know, that old school rock and roll, and it kind of melds and merges perfectly together. It's awesome.
Thank you
so much, man.
Yeah, I just, you know, when I was telling you guys, and I think I butchered the name of the song in the Twitter post, but Where You Want to Run To?
Yeah, you got it.
Dude, that song is fire, man.
Those are my favorite, because Jordan writes the lyrics in the Moon City Masters, and he's our Bob Daisley, writes the lyrics and plays the bass damn good. And it's like those are my favorite set of lyrics Jordan wrote, and he was humble enough to let me sing them.
Well, what's really cool is we were just talking about disco, right? And you hear the rhythm section in the beginning of the song, and it's got that boom, 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 boom. It's got that. It's almost like, I don't know if how you guys will take this, but you hear a little bit of "Turn It On Again" by Genesis in there.
I love that song.
Oh, dude, I love Genesis. I love every era of Genesis.
Yeah.
Like from the Gabriel stuff to the poppiest of the pop Phil Collins stuff. I love it all, man. I was running to that song actually the other day, so I'll take that well.
Yeah, but like if you hear,
we love pop music. We love pop music. Just well-crafted pop music.
Well, pop music back in the 80s, though, like when I grew up, they actually did play their instruments. You had Duran Duran, you had, whoever it was, Men at Work.
Dodo. They're like some badass
Madonna records. Listen to
Madonna,
the bass.
yeah. Madonna, it was not like program music. It was people playing the instruments, so you had an organic feel to it. And one of the biggest things about pop music today, why it's so bland, is because of that algorithm that I talked about before.
Yeah.
Now all these record companies want that algorithm. So that's why everything sounds the same, because everyone's trying to fit into that. And so I can't tell the difference between one pop artist and another, because it's all the same. It's all the same.
Well, everything's got to be 2 minutes now. A lot of that top 40, 2 minutes, and it stays like one progression the whole time. A lot of it. There's some pop music I freaking love, like modern pop, but a lot of it, and it's like I said this to our producer Justin the other day. It's like to a young listener that's really just getting started listening to music, and that all they hear is like a lot of the top 40 stuff today. Simon and Garfunkel would be progressive rock to them now, because it's too much. It's way over the. They're just. There's a saying like keep it simple, and it is a good thing to stay simple, but I almost feel like it's gotten too simple.
I also think I love a lot of songs that are like 3 chords and a vocal and an out of tune vocal. Frankly, I love a lot of music like that, but I don't know, man. Like, okay, like this is kind of a weird comment. Considering I completely own that there is a retro-ish aesthetic to our music. Not intentionally, we just love that stuff. But like, oh my God, has there ever been a time in history where they're selling nostalgia more than now? Like, I feel like I hear like if the times I've listened to pop radio, I can't even name them off the top of it. They're like, they're just taking hooks from already famous songs more than I've ever heard. I don't know. Like it's just very weird.
Oh, yeah, that's how It's so
weird.
Greta Van Fleet. We sell. Be happy about them. A new band they're awesome. Be happy at the new stuff. It's true. A lot of modern pop music, they'll just sample old songs already, and nothing wrong with sampling. I see it as an art, but it's like we need some new things. You know,
an unpopular take here. It kind of makes me feel like I'm sick of all these freaking superhero movies. We've had enough Batmans. Something else now.
I want the old school like Chuck Norris, Sylvester Stallone action movies.
Yeah.
I want another Death Wish.
First of all, the best Chuck Norris moment is watching him in a wrestling mat. He's the
enforcer
behaving.
Chuck Norris is here just to make sure everything checks out. No funny business going on in the ring. Chuck Norris.
If you want to watch a great Chuck Norris movie, I recommend Code of Silence.
I'll check it out. What's that? Where's that? I saw some scene on YouTube years ago of him like in a fight scene with Bruce Lee. I'm like, this is cool as hell. It's cool.
Yeah, those old school Bruce Lee movies. We used to have Kung Fu Saturdays on a channel here outside of Chicago, and they would play Kung Fu or karate movies, Bruce Lee movies, like for like 8 hours on Saturdays. And it was all like most of it was all like subtitled and everything, and it was great. So, but you saw.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You saw the Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee battles in some of those movies. Those was like epic stuff.
But this is me calling on these movie makers. Don't do remakes anymore. Just make new shit.
Yeah.
Well, as far as music, you mentioned, nostalgia. And when you think of why nostalgia is so important and why they go back to that era or those eras is because the music was great. But the reason why it was great was because the band had a vision and the record label shared that vision with them, right? You mentioned like the third album, bands didn't really break. Like Bon Jovi didn't break till Slippery When Wet. That was their third album. That album was
I think Aerosmith didn't break till their third album too. And then they put Dream On out again as a single.
Right.
Because
I love Queen's first album, but there's no hit song on that.
No. Yeah. So I mean, if a record label knew,
he didn't have a hit single for like Prince had "I Want to Be Your Lover" and "I Feel for You" off the second album, but he didn't have like monster hit songs till like his fourth album.
Yeah. And I don't know why. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the record labels don't have a vision anymore. They want a product that is a guarantee or almost a guarantee.
That goes back to the influencer thing. Yeah. They want you to make money for them instantly.
I mean, Capitol Records signed an AI program to a record deal like 2 months ago.
That AI program needs a band. I'm okay.
AI program. If you're out there, you need a bass player. I'll ditch this fool. I don't.
But it was like, how does Capitol Records have this iconic building in California and sign these iconic artists, and then end up signing an AI program that they had to drop because of the racial stereotypes of the rapper? Like, how do they fall so down after being so iconic and having a vision for so long?
Did they drop? You said they dropped the AI program?
Yeah, because they had racial stereotypes.
This is why I don't read the news. No,
it's serious. I had to read the article. I had to read the article like 3 or 4 times. I thought it was like The Onion. I'm like, is this serious?
Did the program come out and apologize for their insensitive?
I'm sorry for.
I will learn from this. I will be.
I don't know, man.
Look,
it's just, But
I just, it's like goes back to it. It's like I think the music business. I think the music part's all in lowercase letters, and the business is all in caps right now.
Yeah.
The business. There's never been more of an emphasis on the business side of the music business than ever before. Like, I think because the revenue, they're doing 360 deals, a lot of these with the big artists and major labels where they want to own everything because they're just trying to get the money. It's really not.
I think it's because there's less money.
Yes.
And do you think the fact that like Spotify, the fact that like musicians don't really make anything off there, even if your songs get like millions of streams, like you're not really getting like. Do you think that has something to do with why they maybe aren't taking chances as much? Why they need to feel like you need to have money? Do you think that has to? You have. They want
to see the following, and they want to see that you have a following and tons of streams before they decide to put a rocket ship behind you.
Well, here's why I push back against that idea. I go to a lot of rock concerts, and a lot of the rock concerts are of bands that don't fit into an algorithm, right? And for the most part, shows are packed. So where are these people finding this music? It's not through an algorithm. right? You're not finding Butch Walker through an algorithm. You're not finding Joyous Wolf through an algorithm. You're not finding Judas Priest through an algorithm, right? You're not finding those bands because of that. Those bands don't fit into the earworm algorithms that all these record labels want. Yet they have a following. So if a band, or obviously, we have legacy artists like Priest and Maiden, those big ones that.
By the way, how good does Rob Halford sound on this tour? He sounds amazing. I think this is the best he sounded since he rejoined Judas Priest.
They did Beyond the Realms of Death.
Hell yeah!
Which I've never heard that live, and I'm like, oh my god, they're playing Beyond the Realms of Death. I've never heard this live, so
I want to see them because they're doing Riding on the Wind on this tour. That's like my.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you notice about Halford, he sounds great. But years ago, he would just casually walk on stage like he's shopping at like Walmart and just screaming for vengeance, or these high pitch. And now, like, he's got to put his hand on his thigh and just bring it from the diaphragm all the way hard, which is fine. He's in his 70s.
It ain't easy to sing like Rob Halford.
Dude, I was watching him.
The fact that he could still hit it is just like, dude, he did Screaming for Vengeance. And like the range on that song.
Wait, he did that on this tour?
He did this on this tour.
They brought it back oh, hell yeah. I want to see. Dude,
we only saw them one time. We saw them on when they did British Steel start to finish.
Okay.
And that was good, but I think and it was great to see KK and Glenn Tipton because I think that was like the last tour they did together.
Yeah.
But you know what? I gotta be honest. Like, I wish those guys were still on stage, but I think Rob Halford's singing and the set lists are better right now.
Yeah.
Beyond the Realms of Death, they did Screaming for Vengeance, they did Steeler, they did Jawbreaker.
Devil's Child, I saw they're doing that on this tour, which I love. Devil's Child.
They didn't play that in Chicago, but I love that song. I love it.
Oh my god! Well, Screaming for Vengeance is my favorite. That's my favorite Judas Priest album. That or Defenders of the Faith.
I love Defenders. I was watching a live video from the Defenders tour last night. So I got really happy when you mentioned Priest. I love that band. And I love Maiden too. Oh my god, we were at one of the shows for Flight 666, the one that they shot, the one with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner from Jersey.
Oh. Yeah, we were at that concert.
Nice.
And I swear you see him headbanging in the video.
I swear you could see the silhouette of us headbanging. I swear.
That's a great song. That's a great documentary. Maiden sounded great. They did Flight of Icarus. They did Revelations. They did Aces High.
Are they still opening up the show with Aces High into Where Eagles Dare?
No, they ended with Aces High with the Churchill speech.
But that is a badass. That guy his age is ending a set with Aces High.
Dude, I don't know, man. I thought it was crazier that he was opening his fucking show with Aces High into Where Eagles Dare.
As singers, and we grew up singing a lot, learning to sing by singing a lot of that stuff. Aces High is definitely one of the tougher Maiden songs to sing, and to open or close with that in your set is just the hardest part of a set is the opening and the closing of a set.
Yeah.
And just because your voice is the coldest and then your voice is the most worn at the end, and that is just like he's a beast.
Well, you have my nephews went to the Iron Maiden show with me and my son. And I said, hey, when you hear Doctor Doctor by UFO, that means the show's about to start. They're like, what do you mean? I go, they're going to play a song called Doctor Doctor. Everyone's going to get on their feet. No one's going to be on stage, but everyone's going to be cheering and just get ready. And they couldn't understand like what was going to happen. And like they were blown away. And plus, when you go to a Maiden show, and like kind of similar to what Metallica was, seeing them last week, like Metallica opened up for Creeping Death.
That's a great opener.
And you couldn't hear the song for the first minute because the crowd was so loud. Like you just heard like this wave of like it was just insane. And then they ended with Hit the Lights, which they haven't played in 20 years.
Ride the Lightning is my favorite Metallica album, so I would love
they did Ride the Lightning. They did For Whom the Bell Tolls. They did Fight Fire with Fire. They did Fade to Black. They did Call Cthulhu. They did Blitzkrieg, for crying out loud. Like,
dude, those guys, they're just crushing it. You know, these guys are just, you know, they're gonna be doing this till they're 80.
Well, let's get into you guys, because we've talked enough about music.
No, we're boring. Okay.
like we're talking about all this stuff, and I'm like,
yeah, I was about to say, when you were doing your
talk about
intro,
their
I was
new
like,
album.
there's like, you named like 3 or 4 bands that I was like, yeah, I want to talk about this. Sorry, what was your question?
Well, let's talk about the new album. The famous Moon City Masters released last week.
Yeah.
And, you know, it features some songs that were previous released, like Taking It Back and the song that I mentioned, Where You Want to Run To. But you guys have kind of been recording music and putting out music here over the last few years, and it culminates with this full-length album. What was the decision to kind of go with this instead of just releasing the singles kind of as you guys were?
Well, you can go ahead if you want.
You know, we just felt we've been writing a lot of music that we're really into lately, and it feels like the music is heading in a different direction. We're entering a new stage as a band, and all of that music that we kind of like, the famous Moon City Masters is a better name for what it really is, the pandemic era, you know. And all of that music that we put out, from Over Now to Trust Someone, the single, the new song off of it, it kind of represents an era for us, you know? And it just kind of felt like a good way to celebrate it and tie it in and get ready for what's next. I don't know. What is anything else I missed there?
That's exactly. Look, in the world, we put them out as singles as we were deep in the lockdown. We recorded Over Now like the week before the lockdown happened.
It actually was supposed to be.
That was supposed to be a demo, but we liked.
And I'm pretty sure I had COVID when I did the vocal for it.
Yeah, but
we didn't know anything at that point, though.
We just really feel like this, and we had Trust Someone. We finished it, but we had a line around. We just feel like that to Trust Someone is an era. And if we were a band, and look, we did the singles because, you know, we were deep in the lockdown. We couldn't play shows. There was no other way to promote ourselves. And it's also more financially doable to put out singles. And there's just when you're a new band, it's a lot, you get a lot more, it's a lot easier to get people to discover you. It's because it's become posting a song as like a social media post now. You bring in new people. So, but I think we look at all that music as a lot of it was written in groups of like 4 or 5 together. And it felt like an album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it feels like an album. I feel like it tells a story, and we're writing a lot of new music that obviously it still sounds like us, but it feels like we're evolving and getting better. And we're like, and it's like, this is a celebration. Let's put it out, because this music to us is meant to be listened together in a group.
Yeah.
Like now we have our EP, The Adventures of the Moon City Masters. That's an era. This is another era where I feel like we're coming more into our own. And this next era is that, which I don't know when we're going to put out music, but we're going to start recording a lot of music once we're back from tour and after the holidays are over. It just feels like it just felt like that we're putting a bow on this. Let's celebrate it. We're so proud of this music, and we want people to hear it and how we would imagine it as an album and not just as singles.
Yeah.
I just had the band GA20 on New Music Spotlight, the episode that kind of precedes your episode. And I was talking to the guitar player, Matt Stubbs, and that album, Crackdown, which was just released earlier this year, went to #1 on the Billboard Blues charts. But that album was recorded in 2020. They sat on it through the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'll ask the same question I asked him, is when you're making music like that and you put out an album like you guys just did last week, how do you stay connected with the music as you keep creating music, right? I mean, you guys are songwriters, you guys are musicians, you're constantly creating. I mean, that's your lifeline is creating. So when you have songs that you put on an album and you're writing songs and you're sitting on it for a while because of the pandemic, because you don't really know what to do at that point, and then it finally comes out, you've known these songs, you've gotten to know these songs for so long, but you're also on to new things that you're writing, right? I mean, you're looking forward to that next evolution like you guys talked about. So how do you stay with those songs during a situation like that?
You know, everyone's different, but I think that we just, and obviously I'm like anyone else. The newest thing is I always just gonna think is our best thing, you know? But like, I'm just really proud of it all. I really love it.
I don't really struggle with that. Like I used to, before we were the Moon City Masters. Like, okay, like this band we've been in a bunch of bands together, and they were always with us with one or two other guys, and it was always us trying to, we would work with people that like, oh, we when we were younger, it's like we need to make something that we could still feel like ourselves with, but would be a commercial for people. Okay, fuck that. Let's just not care about that and be a prog band. Okay, this is the Moon City Masters was just like, dude, let's just be
the prog. And then after the prog band, that was our last band. We were like, okay, we still care about like songwriting sensibility. So that was the other, and we felt we were just compromising with other members.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. We always felt like we were compromising our vision. We always felt like we were trying to please a producer, another band member, a this, a that, and the Moon City Masters was just kind of like, F it. Well, can I curse? Fuck it. I'm just going to do it. Fuck it. We're just going to be ourselves. Let's just be the band that I need this and this. Like the Moon City Masters was like, let's just be the band that I want to hear, that we want to hear, that we can't find no matter how much we dig through a record collection, a YouTube, Spotify. Let's just be that band. So I always feel like there's just been a 100% uncompromising honesty. I'm getting out what I need to get out in the moment, that since we committed to that it's not really that hard for me to like,
like we put out
I'm really proud of everything we've done. I'm not going to say that everything is perfect, but I'm proud of it.
Look, we put out our EP in late 2019, like right before the COVID lockdown, like a few months before, like December 2019. And, look, we would not write music like that now, but since we were being true to ourselves there, and that was what where we were at, I can listen to it and I still love it, obviously. Yeah, I think the whole goal is just be true to yourself in the moment. Don't follow trends. And, and yeah, I don't know. It's never a struggle. Like we still play.
I hated when in our old bands, we would record music and I'd immediately not like it.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way with this band.
Yeah. This is the first band we've ever had and the only band we've ever had that I'm just super proud of it. And I probably, maybe it sounds a little narcissistic. I just really like our music.
I'm not under any illusion that like I'm not going to say our music's going to be for everybody. Not everybody, but I'm not writing it for everybody. I'm promoting it to get everybody to listen to it, but I'm writing it for me. And he's writing, and we're writing it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta please yourself. You can't write to please other people. You gotta feel passionate about it. Because if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're just gonna phone it in, and you're not gonna sell it you're not gonna promote it because you're not proud of it. We're so proud of this music and everything we've done as the Moon City Masters that we have no problem getting on a podcast or anywhere strutting our stuff and trying to get people to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's worth listening to. I mean, the album is great. The music's great. I always appreciate the singer-songwriter aspect of music, right? A good song, a good lyric, a good harmony. As much as I love hard rock and new rock, I love, singer-songwriters like Pete Yorn and, Butch Walker and Ryan Adams and artists like that too as well. And I think there is an element of that in your music too. I think there is a connection that you guys are able to give your audience and fans with lyrics, with personal stuff, and the way you write and the way you arrange the music and harmonize the music. It's a lot different than, we talk about nostalgia, but it's a lot different than a lot of bands are out there right now. There's not a lot of bands that can do the harmonies that you guys do. There's just not right now. I mean, back in the day there were, and that's why it kind of brings me back to those bands that were able to do that years ago.
Yeah, thank you. It's that, what that band Larkin Poe, they're sisters. What's their album called? Blood Harmony. It's that blood harmony. It's that you got two brothers. Like, look, when you're twins, you learn to talk at the same time. We pronounce words the same way, so it gives you that advantage on the harmony thing.
I sometimes legit, like, when I listen back to like band practice or something, I'll be like, oh wait, I thought that was me singing.
You know, it's just our dad and Kurt. When we were kids. Like Jordan started singing first, and our dad. We always wanted a front man and a singer. You cannot find them because a lot of people don't try to sing like the way we want vocals to be like. A lot of people weren't into that at the time, so we got into it and. I think harmony is so important. I love a lot of the new rock bands out there, but we try to not do what the we try to do a different production. We try to do we're trying just to find our own way,
Be ourselves, that's really it.
Yeah. And I agree. I think harmony is super important. It's our favorite thing.
I love harmony.
Grand Funk. We love the Eagles. We love Deep Purple with Glenn Hughes and Coverdale. We love just big epic harmonies.
I love
Deep Purple with Dylan too, but we do.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite era of Deep Purple. I love Mark II as well, but that's my favorite era. You know what's better than one great singer? Two great singers. That's why I love David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes together.
Yes. I mean, but you talk about harmonies. You mentioned the Eagles. You mentioned that Purple era. But even bands like Journey, or bands like Van Halen. Everybody talks about Eddie. Those harmonies in a Van Halen song are freaking incredible.
Yeah, like Women in Love, that stuff. It's like incredible.
Eddie, Mike backing up Dave,
or Sammy. That was, oh my god, Michael Anthony, like Judgment Day, Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar doing those crazy high notes. That's insane shit.
I mean, you look at that band and they have like this unique big band meets the Beach Boys meets ZZ Top, which is essentially what Van Halen is.
Oh, like that's perfect. Yeah.
And then you've got Bottoms Up, which essentially is LaGrange, right? By ZZ Top.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! You know what's a great song? I love Top Jimmy, that crazy guitar thing, and then the harmony. I love, dude.
Michael Anthony singing those like that high harmony over like I don't know the words. Top Jimmy.
Oh my god, there's just so many. But I definitely think there's a lot of great band. I think that's missing in a lot of new bands. And
I agree.
Yeah, I think the whole band should sing. Like obviously some of the best musicians I know don't sing, but it's crazy to me. And it's crazy to me that like you could be playing an instrument your whole life and not ever try to sing. Like what's the first thing that you cared about when you listen to music? Definitely the freaking vocals. It's the one thing you can be part of. It's the one thing that you can do before you know how to play an instrument is sing along to the freaking song. So I started off wanting to be a lead singer, became a bass player, immediately just wanted to stay in the back because I just loved playing bass so much. But thankfully our dad was just like, dude, you guys are always going to be somebody else's band if you don't take up the vocals. So we did. And thankfully he can do half the job for me.
Yeah, and I started off because I was more awkward about singing. I started off just doing the harmonies, and then Jordan's like, why don't you...
Okay, you can be nice. It was also because I had a teenage ego, too. You can be well, you get to do solos, man.
That's a great song title, Teenage Ego.
Yeah.
Teenage ego, I need a burrito. There you go. Next Moon City Masters sing.
You have a sing versus me, but I'm gonna be the lead.
If you can fit burrito in a song, it's a great song.
Burrito. My teenage ego, can I get a bag of Fritos? Something to beat 'em.
See, this is why he's the lyricist. He's a better rhymer than me.
Look, if any of your listeners steal that piece of music from me,
we will sue.
I have a feeling this episode is going to end up in litigation at some point.
We are we are a very litigious band.
What's it for Beavis and Butthead? We will sue the school. We will sue the county. We will sue.
Look, I won that $2 billion Powerball the other day, so I'm going to be throwing lawsuits at everyone.
Look, if Taylor wasn't such an idiot, we would have won the Powerball. He only bought 10 tickets. The problem is that
Jordan, I bought $40 of tickets. I was really planning on that. That was my master plan. I did not win. I cried all night. It's okay. I'm past it now.
Well, I haven't played lotto stuff because I want to give other people a chance to win because I know the first time I play, I'll win. So that's why I don't play yet.
I'm not going to, if I ever win the lottery, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm just going to show up with like a new vintage bass every time everybody sees me. and just like not even say anything about it. Not going to say anything.
That'd be pretty sweet. I was just at the Gibson Garage in Nashville.
Oh, cool!
And we got access to the vault. And I stood in front of 2 guitars that were worth over $1 million a piece.
Oh my God, we opened up for Jared James Nichols the other week in New York, and he I've been talking to him for like 5 minutes. He doesn't know me at all. I don't think he's even heard my music. And he goes, "Yo, check this out," and hands me his 52 Les Paul. I'm like,
"Is that the gold top?"
Yeah,
gold top.
The one that he that was like destroyed in a tornado, and that he.
I think he called it Dorothy. It's like I'm like, "Oh, thank you." You know, he's like such a nice guy. What another? He's just a badass and just such a good guy.
Yeah.
But like, Anthony is 52. He's like, "Yeah, want to play it?" I'm like, "Yeah." Of course I did. 52 Les Paul, and Jared James Nichols hands you a 52 Les Paul. You're gonna play You're gonna play the Les Paul.
I think I even played it.
Yeah. But I gotta say, then he handed me his signature Epiphone, and they were pretty damn close. They were really good.
Yeah, there was another guitar in the vault.
Toto was pretty close.
There was another guitar in the vault. It was a gold top that was worth about $500,000. And and they're behind like this glass, thing, and you're just like,
I got 5 of those in my closet.
Yeah, and then they've got Keith Richards' like original orange amp, like in the corner, and you're just looking at it like, dude, what songs did he write through this? What did he write through this? It's just an amazing. I love stuff like that. And my first question is, how the hell does a guitar get to be worth that much?
Someone bought it. Someone bought it for that, and now it's worth
a surplus of wealthy lawyers in the United States.
Yeah. So what's next for you guys?
Well, we got a show tonight at Rockwood Music Hall. I guess it'll be past by the time this airs. November 11th, we're playing tonight with a really cool, and opening for us is a cool band from Philadelphia named Frankfurt Fiddler, and then like a power trio too, duo power trio like us. And then after that, we're leaving November 22nd to go to Europe to tour for 3.5 weeks.
We're in Europe.
We're Spain, France, Austria,
Switzerland.
Not Switzerland. Italy, everywhere except the UK. Everywhere except the UK. But we're going. That's what we're doing for 3.5 weeks. Then we're gonna do Christmas and take a big nap, and then we're gonna start writing and recording for new songs, maybe an album or an EP. To start, we're gonna record in 2023. Maybe shop it around for a label, but maybe put it out independently. And we got a lot of cool stuff. We're talking about maybe doing a live EP in between releases, doing a live thing in between albums in 2023. We're scheming, got a lot of but already got some shows booked, and just trying to have a strong end of the year and make next year even better.
Yep.
Everyone I've talked to who's been to Europe and who's done that run that you guys are going to do, Spain loves rock music. Austria loves rock music. I mean, the promoters out there are just great. So you guys should have a good time.
Yeah, we found a little booking agency called Tres Hombres, and
I think they were Cold Stairs use them.
Yeah, Cold Stairs, Zach Person, Damn Truth. You ever heard of Damn Truth?
Oh, I love the Damn Truth from
Damn Truth.
They were the first rock band other than us that I found on TikTok, and I was like, "Whoa, what a singer!"
Yeah, and I think the guitar player are married, and they are just, and they bring their kid on the road.
He posts videos.
They are just badasses. She's a hell of a singer.
Oh, they're great.
Oh my God! And so they work with them, and they found us at during the pandemic. We signed on to do this tour. Then March, we were getting ready to go on tour. Omicron's a thing. We had to postpone it, but now we're doing it, and we are just so freaking pumped.
I didn't hear Chicago in there, so I'm just kind of wondering, like, what the hell?
Are you in Chicago?
Yeah.
Tell us who to play with there. We'll reach out to them. We would love to come to Chicago.
Yeah, we have family in Chicago too, so extra
Yeah, give us some bands to reach out to that would do a bill with us there. We would love to do the trip.
Or bands, if you are listening, anyone in a band, the guys that we're playing with tonight literally popped up in an ad. Promote your stuff and send me your stuff. We want to play with you. We listen to everything.
You guys can do. I know a couple bands that you guys can do a Wisconsin, Chicago run.
Hell yeah, we love
Milwaukee and Chicago and Madison.
We would love to do that. We did Summerfest the summer before this one, and we had a blast. So we're hopefully maybe we'll come back this summer there. Hopefully, and we'd love to do a run of the Midwest. We'd love to. Midwest loves rock music.
They do.
They do. We love New York, but yeah, New York's been good to us. But they're not. It's not the most rock and roll town or city.
Yeah, no, I will. I'll think of some bands. I know there's a couple off the top of my head that I think you guys would work well with.
Cool.
But Wisconsin, you got like Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, Madison. You've got St. Louis.
We would love to do that.
Detroit's a big rock city.
I've heard that.
Well, hence the name, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I did that so accidentally too. I did not do that on purpose. By the way,
it's great. I love that Kiss movie, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
What was it? Kiss means for Knights in Satan something. I don't know. It was amazing.
Knights in service of Satan. Knights in Satan's service. Yeah.
That
was a big thing. Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? I would love a time machine. I would love a time machine just to go back when people thought rock was satanic or just thought satanic things were such a threat. It's hilarious.
I don't know. I feel like it sounds funnier than it probably was to be.
Yeah, it was probably terrible, but it's hilarious.
There was Wasp. Remember the band Wasp? They were We Are Sexual Perverts.
I wanna be somebody.
You know what's
We Are
funny?
Sexual Perverts.
And what's hilarious about that, because they have a song "Fuck Like the Beast." I think Blackie Lawless is like a born again Christian, isn't he?
He is, and he's touring again the States for the first time in over 10 years. Wasp is touring with Armored Saint.
Dude, I would go see Wasp. That'd be fun.
And he's doing Animal Fuck Like the Beast.
Yeah.
So
he's a badass, man.
He's like 6'6" too. He's like,
is he really?
Yeah. He's a big
God damn.
Yeah, he's a big dude. And Chris Holmes, the guitar player, was like 6'7". They were large and in charge back in the day.
God damn, man.
Well, now they're older, so maybe they're like all 6'4", 6'5".
Now. Like what do they call it? Oh God, where you shrink? I can't think of the name of the condition.
Shrinkage.
That's Seinfeld.
I was in the pool.
Well, no, yeah. So I'll think of some bands in this area that are definitely ripe for playing in the Chicago.
I want to revise it. Even if you're not in a band, if you're a fan and you know a band, send it to us. We always want to hear what's.
If you DM us on Instagram, we see everything. So
I want to hear what you guys are listening to, man. I want to hear what's out there.
Well, you heard it here, folks. So send them info. But it's been a blast talking with you guys and getting to know you guys. This conversation was nothing like I had planned, but that's awesome. That's great.
See, you're dealing with twins not in the same house because we're on Zoom and very ADD. So it's going to go wherever it goes.
And that's fine. No, that was great. This was a great conversation. I love it when it kind of takes on a life of its own. And I think that's what makes conversation. I don't like a formulated conversation. I like a natural conversation. So
me too.
You ever see those Larry King interviews where he's like clearly reading a list of questions as he's doing the interview?
I talk to other podcasters. They're like, you mean you don't prepare any questions before a show? I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I just go with wherever the conversation goes.
It was kind of like me at Taylor's wedding. I had some notes, but then I went up and cut a Dusty Rhodes promo instead.
It was the very American dream, baby.
Well, you guys, this has been a lot of fun, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We'd love to come back sometime, and we'll go according to plan next time.
No, man. No, absolutely. We'll do it the same way. We don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk, and it's going to be a blast.
I can assure you one thing. We can talk.
The band is Moon City Masters. You can check out mooncitymasters.com. You can have links to all their social media on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Twitter. You can check out their new album on all the streaming sites, the famous Moon City Masters. Can we get a physical copy of this album?
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Go to our Shopify. Yeah, we got it. We got to be sending you one too.
No, dude, I will gladly purchase the album. I love that feeling of getting a vinyl or a CD in the mail.
They're selling. It's crazy. I was not expecting that, but we're selling them pretty consistently right now. So CDs are alive and kicking. We want to do vinyl eventually, but just the whole supply chain thing. It takes so long to get it that we'll eventually do it. But I don't want to do like a pre-sale thing and have people waiting around for 6 months for a vinyl.
Yeah, I have a couple vinyls that I have on pre-order that I'm still waiting. There was one album I finally got earlier this year. I waited 10 months because of the vinyl shortage.
Yeah, we're looking into that. They said it would be at least a year, and we're just like...
But then I pre-order the band Lucifer from like Sweden. They're this heavy metal band from Sweden.
Yeah.
And I get that like in like 4 days. I'm like, how did I get an album from Sweden in 4 days when I'm still waiting for bands that are here in the States? I'm like, I don't get it, but whatever.
They got to figure it out.
Well, Taylor, Jordan, this has been a blast, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Have a great rest
of
the day.
Music. Check out Moon City Masters, a great band. You will thoroughly enjoy them. And if you're listening and you're in Europe and you're in Spain, France, Italy, Austria, heck, if you're in Iceland and you can make it down, do it. They will be playing and you will enjoy it. So thanks to Jordan and Taylor. I'm Jay Scott. This is The Hook Rocks, the Ultimate Rock Community Podcast. Take care of each other. Stay safe. We will talk soon. Thanks.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This summer at Wolf Trap, Lizzo, Josh Groban, Erykah Badu, Jon Batiste, Tedeschi Trucks Band, James Taylor, and many more. Tickets on sale now at wolftrap.org.
Few things are truly timeless, because to last, you can't stand still. That's the beauty of Michigan. You can feel it everywhere, like a fresh breeze on a riverfront stroll, or how the nightlife hums with electricity, like an old friend with new stories to tell. So let the excitement bring you back and bring you together, season after season, in pure Michigan. Find your season at michigan.org.